Hello, welcome back to Drum Wargaming. Today we are going to be working on my dream army. So this is going to be, I don't know what order this is going to be, but so we're going to be working on a model from my dream army. So we're going to be converting this Runemaster. I don't remember what he was. He's a dwarf guy though. We're going to be converting him to an Auric Runemaster. So I picked up this kit. I was able to pick this kit up. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be looking at doing is probably like a head swap and the arm swaps. And that'll get us, well then I'll have to cut them off this base and put them on the bigger base, of course, because they on a bigger base. Yeah, so I don't see any red flags at the moment, but we'll see as we kind of get into this. So like I said, I don't know what order this is going to be in for my videos. I know on the first video I said that my first conversion was going to be the guy on the Magma Droth, but a little update on that is I don't have all the pieces in yet, and it's taking a little while because of, you guessed it, coronavirus. So we're just going to start off with this guy, I think. And what I failed to mention in the first video was that we're basically going to be doing our best to use all Games Workshop parts. There will be a few times when we have to do some non-Games Workshop parts, but we're going to try to do that as sparingly as possible and not go full on into custom pieces kind of thing territory, because I do want this army to be what's it called? Tournament legal. So what we're going to need for this conversion is probably some plastic glue and some super glue just in case, our clippers, and then probably an X-Acto knife. This one's all dirty, but I have a whole bunch more. And then let's just kind of get it together. So let's put the head together first, and then we'll take his head off and hope that there is some room in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip these guys off. Since this is our first kind of construction video on the channel, and kind of go into my philosophy of cutting sprues, but you know, it's just, I cut it as close as I can to the area where it's going to be cut to try to make a pretty flat line. I don't do a whole lot of sanding or anything like that, and just kind of hope for the best when we put it together. If there's some gross mold lines or something, we'll take care of it when it's there, but we don't go into it expecting to do a lot of work like that. So let's take that. So it looks like this piece kind of sandwiches in. It's always better to test fit it first to see like how it goes together before committing to glue. So it looks like it goes in there. It's a little weird. We'll use plastic glue for this since it's going to be sitting for a bit while we cut some heads off. So let's put him in there. Huh. Can I just put this together and then looking at it off camera really quick, to see if I can kind of figure this out without having to. Okay, let's put glue on this end. You can see like the neck is on here, I think, so I think it's easier to glue from this end first, and we can match up those seams first, and then come in with the second part. Put our glue down and put our piece together. Maybe. Okay. So this goes in there. That goes in there. There we go. It's like, it's not coming together. So now we got the head put together. That looks like it'll be a cool fit on there. Now let's see how I put this guy together and if we can get him kind of taken apart without severely just ruining this model. So we're gonna grab it from the head with our clippers. It's gonna destroy the old part most likely, but we're gonna kind of twist it and pull it till it snaps off. And it looks like I feel glue in there. I feel like I glued the beard down like an idiot, which, I mean, to be fair to past me, it's what you would do if you're keeping a model, right? You'd put it together correctly. I'm trying not to destroy it as much as possible, but I think, yeah, we're gonna have to go for it. So let's pull this apart, and we're gonna have to destroy this beard and get this guy open to see the damage that was done underneath. Hopefully the beard of the new head will cover most of this, and we won't be seeing a lot of, oh, there we go, nice. So actually we're looking really good there. Nice, that's actually probably like the best case scenario. This guy's already painted too, and he's painted for my Quadrant army. I was using him originally for them, but no more. Let's cut him off this base too, because we don't need it. Let's just cut and tear. It's the easiest way to get it off. We'll try to keep his little rocky thingy that he's standing on. There, I like it as a piece. There we go. Clean off some of the stuff with the basing materials on here. Even though it will be what we're basing it with, but I think with the amount of customization we're doing to this model, we're going to have to reprime this and repaint it. The Knight and Cantor, we will probably just be painting directly on over the old paint job on it. So, which I will be showing. So we'll be seeing, that'll probably be like a really short video of like, hey, this is the Knight and this is how we're painting him. Why is this purple? Oh, you know what? Because I think this was my brother's model, and he gave it to me, and I repainted it for me. So now it's been repurposed 3 times. So we'll see if how this head lines up on here and how the scale. Okay, we're gonna have to. Looks like maybe. No, it might be fine there. No, let me see. Because it does have this piece in here, and this piece is kind of what we're hanging up on right now. So we might have to do something about that, but it might just fit on like that, because it looks like it lines up pretty well there. But then his head is hanging up really high, so we don't want that. We want it to be lower than it is. So let's kind of go in here and see what we can do that's not completely detrimental to this project or to this model, because this was the only one that the store had and they're kind of hard to find right now. Oops, I could probably take it. You know what, let's take a step back. Let's slow down. Let's see what we can do here. Is really what we're hanging up on. Let's take a file, the little triangle file here. Let's start taking it down. I'm using the curvy end to get in there. Doesn't matter so much of what the back of these hairs look like, because they are going to be behind everything. So like that. And we'll take our circle file and just continue down to make it smaller. And we can do like little clips to it instead of a giant one. Oops, you can see that it's not glued in there all the way yet, which is fine. And that should fit on a lot better now. Kind of like that. I think we'll have to make a little bit neck. Maybe I can shave this down a little bit to get it to go in there deeper. We can cut this because we're not really using it. Just be careful what you're using. X-Actos and stuff like that. So just kind of shave that down. And just keep checking the fit of the part. It's not bad. We'll probably use green stuff to make him a little neck to go on there. Let's go to the arm now. So it is this piece. Big old lantern. Do that, and then see 9 goes on the front and 10 goes on the back. Clip that off, that goes on the front. On the back. Get our glue, just put a little dabby in there. This was our front one. Goes like this. Like these. And then we have this. Okay, so it has a part that goes to the arm, which looks like it just probably just tucks under there, so we don't need that. The hand though, so I'm debating, I'm thinking we're just gonna cut the hand off and glue the new hand on. I'm thinking that's probably the best course of action to go for. So let's cut it here at the wrist. Just take your clippers and cut it at the wrist, and the part goes flying, and then you don't have to deal with it anymore. For here, because we want a pretty good cut, we'll take the wrist where it's at right here and then just cut it with the X-Acto. That'll give us a straight cut, and something will fall. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's probably like a back piece of this. So then we'll be able to put the new hand on right there, and it'll be about the same size. And then for this hand, I don't think it's part of this, and we can put, and we need to put on his little pick guy. So let's cut this off. And let's see here. So we want the hand off because this doesn't have a wrist guard. But I don't think that's gonna work because this is pretty stuck on here. Maybe we let him keep the book. Maybe we let him keep the book. And we put this kind of on his belt or something. I'm looking at this and just trying to see if I can cleanly get it off here. Because you can see how it looks like it's part of this whole thing in here. So it'll be like a big flat gross part in there if I cut it off. Maybe he can have the book still. I don't think it's a big deal for him to still keep his book. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. I'm gonna put this on his back. No, because then he has this cool thing. Let's see. Maybe I can keep it on the base or something. I'm just trying to part it around and see what we can do with it. I could cut this arm off and replace it with an arm from like something else. I don't have an arm just on hand. I mean, I do have the arm that's on this, but there's a lot more cutting and stuff involved in that. Getting it to fill this area here and meld it with whatever arm I can't cut out. So I think we're gonna go with leaving the book in his hand. It's probably a little bit of a cop-out, but you know, we're learning. We're kind of trying to figure this guy out as we go. So let's get the green stuff. It's just a 2-part epoxy stuff. We only need a little teeny bit. So let's get, do I have scissors back here? I do not, so we'll just cut it. We only need like a corner piece and another corner piece. Try to get all of that. It's still too much, but there. Okay. The trick to this stuff is to keep it wet. Keep everything that you're using to touch it wet, like to sculpt with it wet. Do not. It holds your fingerprints very well. So if you're trying to sculpt like a thing with it, definitely keep it. Since this is underneath his, it'll be under his neck. It's not going to be really seen. It's okay that it's not perfect. So that we can just do this by hand is fine. If I can get all this plastic off of it, it's a little bit of a mess. Oh, you see it's sticking to everything. So let's take, oh god, oh god. Let's take just a little bit. Let's dip our fingers in our painting water that is dirty as heck. Kind of just mix some of it together. Same thing, just get a little bit of this since we don't have a 50-50 here. It's probably close. And this stuff can just get thrown away. And you just want to mix it together. With your hands, preferably gloved hands. That's what I should have done. And then it'll mix together because blue and yellow make green, and that's why it's called green stuff. And it dries into a hard, plasticky material, so it'll be a really good kind of foundation for us. You want to wash your hands really good after if you're not wearing gloves like me, before you touch your face and stuff like that. So we'll just kind of insert it into there and flatten it out a bit. And then I will stick it on here. and do our best to kind of pose it. I think that's pretty good because it'll still show the armor underneath, which is kind of what we were going for. I think that's a pretty good position for that to end up in. Now we can take, we can actually just glue it to this base. We don't have to hold it by this little model anymore. Let's use super glue for this. Give it a little bit of time to kind of set up. And if I was a much more competent sculptor, you could sculpt an arm out of this to replace that other arm. But I think we're better off right now just sticking to just a little bit that we're doing right now. A lot of our other guys are going to be a lot more. I'm saying this, but I don't know. I'm hoping that they're a lot more elaborate than this. If we wanted to, you could kind of mix this and make a little rock if you wanted to out of it, but we're just going to throw it away before it gets everywhere else on the table. While waiting for that to dry, I can give a little update on some of the models that I've done in the past, kind of like where they are now. If you remember the Punisher video, he had no sleeves, and I think I've added sleeves to him to kind of, I didn't like the look of the bare arms kind of thing. So I think that turned out pretty cool. I think the sleeves add a little extra to that model. And then for the Wolverine that was out, I've added white stripes down the side of the pants to really help break up this color a lot more. And then kind of like metally bits to the back of the shoes, just so it's not as one color. But I think these turned out pretty dope. Really proud of those guys. But yeah, so I think this should be maybe enough time for that to dry. So let's get our plastic glue here and put it on here. Make sure our hands are as free as of that green stuff as possible, because it'll get stuck in our model and then it won't be fun to paint over it and stuff like that. So this is not going to be it's not as straight as it is on the other model. So maybe we should green stuff this on, or we can just turn the hand a bit like that. Make sure it's gluing. And that gives him this little pose. And it's kind of more like he's wielding it. Like, yeah, I still wish we could get this on him somehow. But this book is just not a great looking piece. Let's see if we can rotate it a bit more. Maybe we can kind of straighten it out. Could also pin that in there. There we go. So that will give us our Auric Runemaster for the army. It's not crazy different from the sculpt on the original, but he does have a lot more armor, and that's kind of what we're going for. This is a lot more simpler conversion, but I hope you liked it. And let me get the good old faithful turn thingy out. And of course I knocked the lid off of it. It's a mess. Oh my god. Okay. We can put this down here. Kind of start this one. And that will give us this. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.